Hello, folks. I'm Josh McGehee from the STL United FC Soccer Show, here today with another rendition of the St. Louis FC Spotlight. Today, I'll be talking with St. Louis FC starting goalkeeper Kyle Morton, who's currently in the top 5 in the entire USL in saves. Kyle, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Josh.
So let's begin with most recent activity by you guys. You guys were able to snap a bad run in form versus Sporting Kansas City 2. Last week, it was a 3-1 victory at home under tough playing conditions, no less, with a couple of rain delays mixed in there. Before that, in the build-up to that match, like I said, you guys have been struggling. What had it been like in the locker room before the win, and how were you guys were able to right the ship?
Yeah, it was tough. I think the week before we had 3 games. We got 1 point out of a possible 9, and with a group of our caliber, with even Swope Park and Louisville and Indy, you can't have 1 point in 3 games. I think the team knew that it was a must-win game with Swope this past weekend, and I know even at halftime there's some words spoken in the locker room about we have to win, and things have to change. We can't be getting outplayed and stuff like that. And in the second half, it was much better when we won 3-1, and it was a big result for us.
So after that result, it's weird to think because obviously this isn't the season people originally thought was going to happen, but you're at the midway point now. And you guys have been battling with the 3 other teams in your group in the thick of playoff contention, which I'm sure is where you guys wanted to be originally. But concerning the rest of the teams in your group, Louisville, Indy 11, Sporting KC 2, give me your thoughts on what the group's been like so far. Has it lived up to your expectations?
Yeah, I think when the groups came out, we kind of knew it was going to be a tough 16 games or 15 games, whatever it was for us. And having Indy and Louisville in the first 3 games, it was going to. We always knew it was going to be tough, and to get a win and a loss out of that is still good because we're both games we're on the road. It was Swope Park now playing well. I think it's tougher than we thought it was going to be this group, but at the same time, I know the discussion is we're not playing for second, we're playing for first. Indy's, I think, has a game on hand on us, and maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 points. I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't even want to look at it. It's just kind of an every game mentality, and seeing if we can just kind of right the ship and come out in the group top.
So I mentioned in the intro, you're having a great season so far. You're top 5 in the league in saves headed into this weekend. And the team as a whole, defensively, outside of a couple matches, you guys have not let in more than 1 goal in any match for this entire season. Obviously, I'm sure as a goalie, you would like to have more clean sheets. But in terms of that success so far in that season, what's been working on that end for you guys?
Yeah, I just think it's really good communication. I think if you look at the goals that have been scored against us, I think it's the other teams maybe have done a good job breaking us down, and maybe a little slip ups here and there. But at the same time, that there's maybe 1 goal a game against us, maybe 2 if they get lucky. And I think with the defensive side of it, I think we're giving ourselves a chance to win every game. And luckily, last game there's 3 goals for us, and if you can score 2 or 3 goals a game and defend well like we have been, I think we're going to have good success.
So it's funny that you mentioned communication because since the restart, I've been actually sitting out in the stands covering you guys. And I think it's not so much a blessing, but an unintended perk of that, I guess, would be is without the big crowds around, you get to hear all the communication on the field. And especially coming from your end, you're getting to hear all these things and all the directions that you're talking about with the defense and other players. I think that with people, some people look at the goalie position and think it's all about making big saves, but a large part of that, I think, is communication. Can you talk a little bit about your mentality about that aspect of your game?
Yeah, I think as a goalkeeper, you don't want to make a save almost. And I think if you have good communication skills and keep the guys organized in front of you, I think then you'll probably limit the amount of shots that you face because people are going to be in the right areas. And I know with not many fans, it's easier for the defense and the midfield to hear me and the central defenders that are talking. And I think for the fans and the people trying to learn the game, I think it's really good for them to be able to listen and kind of understand a little bit more what's going on. But yeah, the communication from the back 4 and the midfielders and myself as well has been fantastic. And I just think it's one of those things that the more you communicate, and over communication is always going to help, right? It's just one of those things in soccer with defense and making sure everybody's on the same page. And I think if you look at our last couple of results, even though we let up a couple of goals, I think the communication's still been there, that teams have just beaten us.
So let's backtrack a little bit to the layoff during the pandemic where the league was not in action. It had to be frustrating for you, specifically in your situation, the fact that you just joined a new club and you play 1 match. It's a great opening match, home victory win, and then all of a sudden your time's taken away from you. So talk to me a little bit about what how you were handling things during that time and how frustrating it must have been knowing that you couldn't perform for your new club.
Yeah, it's tough. I think when you go to a new club, the first thing you want to do is impress, and it was kind of tough because in preseason, it's preseason games. You're not really impressing. It's just you're playing friendly games, and yeah, you maybe make a good save or play well, but you're only really getting judged on the regular season. So to have one game and get judged on that one game, and then obviously we won 4-1, but at the same time, you want to continue to prove yourself. And the break was tough because you didn't know if you're going to play or not again this year, and it was kind of tough to keep a regiment and keep working out, even though you didn't know that we're going to have another game. And then luckily, there's a couple guys who were still around town, and we were able to hang with them and play some golf and kind of take our mind off things. But yeah, even until the vote, the owners vote, we didn't really know if there was going to be a season. It was just rumored to be, So yeah, it was definitely tough mentally and physically, and just one of those things that you just learn from it, honestly.
So those were the tough aspects of it, but it wasn't all bad, especially for you. You were kept pretty active, or at least online during these times. You had to participate in a couple of video game tournaments, one hosted out by the league. You went pretty darn far and seemed to get quite an interaction with fans. Talk to me a little bit about that, the time being involved with those things and just the interactions that you had with fans.
Yeah, it's just good fun, honestly. And like I said, you didn't have too much to look forward to every week. So when you have even just FIFA or another game or anything, honestly, to look forward to every night, it's just something to keep your mind off of what's going on in the world. And it was fun to play against it with a little bit of fan interaction and interaction from the league too. So it was fun to have a little bit of bragging rights as well. But yeah, I mean, it was just something nice. And I know Rich Ryan played and Nathaniel Kavita played, and I know they enjoyed it too. So it was a lot of fun.
It was really cool to see you guys again interact with fans and be involved with that. I don't know if it's going to lead to a professional gamer career for you after
Yeah,
you're done, but
yeah.
it was something fun to at least keep people's minds off of it, and again to represent your club under STLFC. So again, it was quite fun to see. I want to pivot over to a serious subject, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. I've been talking to everybody who's come on here about this subject because I think it's important. We've seen the responses across all leagues since coming back from the pandemic about in terms of fighting against racial injustice and the Black Lives Matter movement. And I think in the USL, or at least at your guys' matches, you guys have put out a pretty strong united front and a united message before the games and also from week to week in your discussions. Talk to me from your perspective about the conversations that you've had with teammates, your thoughts, if you have any, on the matter, and also before the games when you guys are all kneeling, what's going through your mind during that time?
Yeah, I know it's a touchy subject for everybody, and everybody has their personal view on it. And being a white male, obviously, it's just been an education type thing, honestly. And communicating my roommate's Toby Adewale and being able to communicate with him, going on and seeing what's happening in the news. It's just been kind of an awakening experience, honestly. And learning from those guys has been important. And Nathaniel Kavita's got a great voice in our locker room, and couple guys as well, and obviously we wear the Black Lives Matters armbands, and we have the T-shirts and everything, and it's just honestly just raising awareness. It's like just making sure everybody knows we're on the same page. And I know guys have different views on the national anthem, and I'm not going to get into that, but it's been one of those where everybody has their voice, and if you want to show that you support one thing and then the other, then it's okay, because we're all kind of just in it together. And I know some of the fans may not like it around the league, and it's just one of those things where it's a touchy subject in America right now. And I think us as players are just trying to do our best to raise awareness for it. And if people want to agree with us, that's okay. And if they don't, then that's on them. So yeah, I think it's just been a good experience these last couple of months with all the racial injustice going on, and kind of just shining a light on it.
So let's pivot ahead now to this weekend. You guys are going up against Pittsburgh. It's been a tough team for the past couple of seasons. They're doing great things. And, of course, you're quite familiar with them. You played for them last season. You were part of their great run to them being in first place in the Eastern Conference regular season. What are your thoughts about facing your former club and the mentality that you guys are taking with you into this weekend now that you're back on winning terms?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have a little momentum going into our next game, and playing against my old coach and my only professional coach, Bob Lilly. I think it'll be interesting. And being with him for 3 years, I kind of know his tactics and what tendencies he may bring onto the field. And hopefully I can shine a light in the coach's office and kind of give them a couple ideas on how to beat them. And at the same time, it's me and Toby's job to kind of let the guys know what to expect and maybe what we could see. So just kind of preparing everybody. And I've never played against a former professional team that I've been on, so that'll be interesting. It'll be nice to see some of the guys again. But yeah, it'll just be a lot of fun to see some familiar faces and play against Bob again.
Well, I'll get you out of here on this. We've seen since the restart that USL and St. Louis FC have been able to work out a situation to have some fans in attendance. I thought it was extremely impressive, the people who stayed out for last week's match through all the rain delays and stuff like that. But we know that that's not a guarantee going forward with currently what's going on in our country concerning the pandemic. So I just want to ask you personally, through any of your interactions or just what you've been seeing, if you've got any sort of a message for the fans right now who've been supporting you either at the matches or at home throughout this season.
Yeah, just thanks for coming out, and it's been really nice. Even I think there's maybe 250, 300 people that stayed through the rain delays, and I know that must have been tough. And I know the club has done a really good job with the protocols, and I know the fans have been abiding by them as well. And like everybody says, wear your mask at the games and continue to support us. So in the weeks coming, nothing will happen. No spreads will happen around the area from the game. So so we'll continue to have some support.
Awesome, Kyle. If you want to check out St. Louis FC in action, they will be playing Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC this weekend on Saturday. Tough road task for you guys, but you're on a winning streak. Hoping to see you continue and get out there on the 3 points. Kyle, thanks so much for talking with me today.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Josh.
For more coverage of soccer here in St. Louis and more coverage of the beautiful game domestically and abroad, tune in to the STL United FC Soccer Show, airing live over our Facebook page on Saturday starting at 9:30 and re-airing on Sunday on 590 The Fan KFNS. Thanks for tuning in.